the Natural Health Podcast, where we bring awareness of sustainable health in the business hustle space. The Natural Health Podcast is perfect for the high-performing business-minded individuals who want to work with their biochemistry to achieve optimal health. It's Wednesday, which means it's time for What Would I Do? In today's episode of the Natural Health Podcast, we discuss this week's questions. All questions are kept confidential. I read them and answer them as if it was me, hence why it's called What Would I Do Wednesday. The information provided is not to be taken as advice and is solely for information purposes only. I'm not here to cure, treat, or provide medical advice. I am here to educate and inform you so you're able to take steps towards optimal health. Please discuss any medical issues with your healthcare professional. Let's get into today's question. Today's question is, I am constipated and go once a week, have a bowel movement once a week, and usually use laxatives to help me go. What would you recommend? Okay, this is an absolutely amazing question because a lot of individuals in Australia are constipated. So let's look at what is constipation. Okay, so constipation is an acute or chronic condition in which bowel movements occur less often than usual or are considered hard, dry stools, and are painful or difficult to pass. Bowel habits vary, but an adult who has not had a bowel movement for 3 days or a child who has not had a bowel movement in 4 days is considered to be constipated. And this is in medical terms. This is what's considered constipation. So it's more common in kids and in the elderly and also in females. So if you're a female and you're elderly, you're more likely to get it. If you're a female and you're a kid, you're more likely to be constipated. So the thing is, if your stool is small and hard, and if you have to strain to pass them, you're probably constipated. So the thing is the most common cause of constipation in Australia is a low fiber diet, low fluids in the diet, and long periods of immobility. So just sitting and not doing much, not exercising. So, but the thing is that we also have to consider there is several conditions which may cause constipation, such as metabolic disorders, hypothyroidism, and depression can all lead to constipation. And also certain drugs. So what medications that you're taking, medications you were on, medications that you are on, such as antidepressants and antacids, they can all cause constipation, including pain medication also. So individuals, when they're at the hospital and they have a surgery or something along those lines, they usually come back home and they're given, let's say, endone, and they become constipated. Okay, so that's medications can cause this constipation. So if further testing is necessary, you may need to have your large intestine examined in regards to constipation. Okay, so thanks for writing in with that question. It's a really good question, and it gave me an opportunity to explain what constipation is and that it is very, very common in the Australian population. And individuals might say, you're going once a week, and if you've gone once a week for 2 years, it's absolutely normal. I don't agree. That's absolutely normal. I think there is an absolute issue. The thing is how many days a week do you eat? Every day. So when should you be going to the bathroom? Every day. So the thing is with your question, I'm unsure of how chronic your condition is. I'm unsure if you've been constipated for a day, 2, 3, for a week, for months, for years. How long has this been happening? I'm unsure how chronic your condition is, right? How many times a week you actually have a bowel movement. That is what I'm unsure of. I'm unsure what medication you're on also, if you are on any medication. So let's say you're going 3 times a week, okay? Let's say you're doing a bowel movement 3 times a week. This is not how our body was made to function, okay? We should go a minimum of once per day, if not twice a day, and it should occur at the same time every day. Okay, bowel movements are made to happen every single day. They're not made to happen every 3 to 4 days, and this is where I believe is your issue. So you are using laxatives to make you go. They could be an issue because it's making your body become so-called lazy. So now your body is going to rely on these laxatives to do a bowel movement, because it's going to be like, okay, well, those laxatives are coming, so I don't need to prepare and have a bowel movement ready. So the question that I have for you, aren't these laxatives natural? Because these laxatives can cause diarrhea, which is a removal of electrolytes from your body. It can cause nausea, gas, bloating, cramping, inability to produce enough digestive enzymes. So what type of laxatives are you taking and how often are you taking them? That's my question for you. And also taking into consideration that could have harmful effects to your body. Now, what is the connection with your bowel movements and your mind connection? That is the interesting thing that I'm also interested in. Are you able to go to the bathroom only at home? Are you able to go to the bathroom only at work? Or the thing is a lot of individuals can't go into a bowel movement in public toilets. They can't do it at their friend's house, at their family's house. They can only do it at home. So are you actually holding in the whole day until you get home to have your bowel movement? Which means you're getting triggered to go to the toilet, but you are the one that's stopping it. Your mind is stopping it. So that may also be an issue, okay? Emotionally, let's talk about emotionally speaking. How is constipation linked in with emotions? Well, the thing with our emotions and constipation is you do not want to let go of your emotions. So being constipated also means that you have internalized your emotions and your need for love. Bottled up emotions are starting to surface on a physical level, causing constipation, and you may have a deep fear of expressing your feelings. These are all, I know it sounds crazy, but all of these are linked to constipation, especially if they're chronic. So the thing is, we need to address what is the first reason? What is the reason why you were constipated? So I've mentioned a few things here, right? So the questions that you can ask yourself are you eating a low fiber diet? Are you drinking enough water? Are you exercising regularly? Do you suffer from a metabolic disorder, hypothyroidism, or depression? Are you on any medication which may be causing you constipation? Do you have an emotional link, which the ones I've spoken about, with your bowel movements? Okay, so now what would I do? What would I do if I was constipated and I was taking laxatives? This is not medical advice. This is not considered to treat or cure the constipation. This is essentially what would I do if I was constipated. Well, the number one thing that I would do is I would increase my fiber intake, but I would do this very, very slowly. And I would increase this by eating vegetables. And the reason why I would increase it slowly, because it can cause a bit of drama on your body if you increase your fiber intake dramatically. Number two, I would reduce the intake of highly refined and processed foods, which is an absolute given. I would increase my water intake. So I would first see how much water I'm taking in and increase it slowly by a cup a week, a day, depending on my situation. I would avoid losing laxatives as they will cause my colon to eventually be unable to function without them. And this is the risk that I'm coming to. I would not ignore the urge to go, no matter where I am, what I'm doing. If I'm getting the urge to go to the bathroom, I would go, because the longer it stays in your colon, the drier and the harder it gets to pass through. The other thing that I would do is I would try to achieve a regular routine in which I go to the toilet at the same time of the day. Every day. So I would have a routine. As soon as I get up, I would sit on the toilet and try to go to the bathroom. Another one that just popped into my head is what you can do is, what I would do is I would put a stool in front of the toilet to elevate my legs up. So my knees will be the same height as my waist, which will allow for better movement of the stool, of the bowel movement to come through. Okay, so those are the things that I would do if I was constipated and I was relying on laxatives. Now, these are some of the things that I would do. Consider those questions that I've mentioned. Think about, are you doing these things? Are you not doing them? What can you include in your everyday life? Thank you so much for passing in this question. Absolutely love this question. Amazing question. Thank you. And I hope that this sheds some light to your question, or anyone who's listening who may have a similar issue, because like I said, constipation is a worldwide issue, especially here in Australia, due to our diet intake, our sedentary lifestyle, and our low fluid intake. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at mihaela.raguz on Instagram, and I'll be in touch with you and hopefully be able to answer your question via this podcast. I will give you 10 minutes of my time to answer your question in detail of what I would do in the situation. Remember, you are not alone in your journey to optimal health, and I'm here to assist you and make your journey a pleasant one. Until next Wednesday, love you.